Hello, grade 7 students, and welcome to Unit 2. Our essential question is, how do we mount matter? Now, this is the first video of the unit. As you experienced for the last test, I wasn't joking around when I was saying, these will be the answers. Not the answers, these will be the questions that you have on your summative test. So, make sure that in your science notebook, you write down these questions. And what I'm looking for is that you write a question, then you have some space left between the question that you write and the question after that, so you can answer it in your notebook. Don't write them all right next to each other, because then you're not going to be able to have enough space to reference it later on and answer the question throughout the units. What I want you to start doing is making some connections between the questions that you have and the units that we're doing. I'm going to start helping you make those connections, but in the end, toward the end of the year, I want you to start making those connections on your own. I did realize that when I got that test and started grading it, some people were having trouble making those connections, and giving examples about stuff in class is fine on your test. It will actually help me find out where you learned the answer to that question. So, here are the factual, conceptual, and debatable questions. And I'm going to give you a little bit more in detail of what I'm going to be looking for on the test as you answer these questions. So, what substances are pure and what substances are impure? I'm going to be looking for examples as well as your understanding of what a pure and impure substance are. How do substances combine? I want to know the process in which they combine and the scientific vocabulary used to explain how they combine. For what is an atom, I would like you to tell me what it is in reference to matter and give me an example of its parts. For the conceptual questions, this one is probably the section I'm going to have you choose between a few of them. Since there are only 3 factual questions, my expectations are going to be that you can answer all 3. The conceptual questions, I'll have a set amount. More than likely it will be 2. It could potentially be 3, depending on the test length and the other things that will be on the test. So, such as math or graphs. How can patterns of properties be used to organize elements? So elements are organized in a certain way. Pay attention to the lesson where we learn how elements are organized. Through this, you can find the patterns of properties. Understand that properties are how we describe the elements, and the substances comprised of these elements. So I want to know how we use the properties to organize the elements. What kind of chemical reactions can take place? As we do different labs and talk about different things and experience through videos as well in class, I want you to take note here of the chemical reactions that are taking place. This one will be a great example of how you can use the classroom experiences as examples in your answer. How can we represent a chemical change? Okay, this one is more digging into detail about how we as people can represent, or I guess we as students could represent chemical change. I may change those questions. I realize the represent ones are a little bit harder, so they may turn into setting up experiment questions. So it may turn into, how can we set up an experiment to observe or inquire about a chemical change? How do we exploit properties of chemicals? By we, I mean people. I want to know how the properties of chemicals are exploited in human society and just by us in general. Then a debatable question. This one's going to be a pretty interesting one. And we're going to talk about it in class and do the same circle that we did last time. And I want you to take from those debates to be able to comprise your own answer. So, to what extent can science be used to fix the problems science creates? When we find innovative solutions to problems, sometimes there's repercussions and we don't understand those yet. As a teacher, it's my job to have you identify the problems that already exist, because when you're older, you're going to have to fix the problems that we don't know about using tools that don't exist yet. And this is a question that's going to go ahead and lead to those future problems that you're going to have to deal with. So make sure you're really thinking about how, right now, we could use science to fix the problems that science creates. Hopefully this is enough to help you understand the expectations for the question, to help you set you up for success for the next exam and help you take information from this unit and organize it in a way that makes it a lot easier to study. Well, thank you, students of science. Hopefully this was helpful. Feel free to leave comments below, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Have a wonderful day.